Hello once again, I'm here to discuss with you a subject that I've been eager to chat about for some time and make a video. Well, the time has come, and that is the Dragon Age experience points system. You can tell me if there's any other systems out there like this, but for me and my discovery of it, from learning the mechanics of Dragon Age ready to GM it for the group, I would say that this is, and I'm going to be bold here, the greatest experience system I've ever encountered. Now, I'm not sure if you as a player or as a GM have ever experienced this, taking part in a system or a campaign or a mechanic in some way where you've been going through with your players on a longer term basis, and you've had an advisory amount of experience to give the team, the party, and you've thought to yourself, they don't really deserve that, or you as the player thinking, that's kind of cheap, we got past that too easy, we shouldn't really have that. Now, of course, you might think, oh yeah, more experience is a good thing, we get to ding, we get to do this, we get to do that, blah, 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 blah. Alright, but in some campaigns you lose your sweet spot, which is very limited, and then you become overpowered, or things like that, in some systems. And then in other things, of course, you've got to take into account the fact that a lot of systems have like a top-end cap. So it's leading you towards that top-end cap a lot quicker, and then when you hit the cap, you're less inclined to keep on playing that character, aren't you? You don't want to carry on playing as capped, because the fun isn't arriving, the fun is the journey getting there. So, and you lose that sense of growth, of personal growth. Sometimes, I mean, we've had personal experience where we've been trying to play a module, and it's just been far too easy for the party, and the party's gotten away with a lot of things, and they're trying to be beardy and trying to be cheesy and doing these different things, and they've got through it easy, and there's no punishment for that. They get the experience, and they've played well, they've gamed the system. You get the power gamers and people like that, and they get through it easily. Alright, this Dragon Age experience system combats all of that rubbish. All of those problems, they are set aside, put at ease. I feel like Barry Scott here, going on about the ultimate cleaning solution. This, though, is the ultimate experience solution, and that is rated on difficulty. This is perfect, and it is adaptable to all of the other systems, even though I've had fierce arguments against people saying it isn't, because you can do it in minor ways. Now, the way Dragon Age works is everything is broke down into encounters. Roleplay encounters, exploration encounters, and combat encounters. So everything is, one of those. And you give experience as a GM at the end of the entire adventure for each encounter. None of the modules give even a hint of suggested experience amounts. Literally, the system is designed to force the GM to remain proactive. In this particular system, based on the way the experience comes in, and I'll say that to get to level 2, you need 2,000 experience, and to hit the cap at level 20, you need 123,500 experience, or thereabouts. Each encounter, unless they up it at the later levels, gives you anywhere between 0 and 300. Now, I'm actually going to read from the definitions of the book here, in the Games Master's Guide in Set 1. Also, you can get at all the box set with all of this stuff in the info bar. You can just click the link or just look around for it, but you can see a picture of what it looks like at the very least. Right, so we've got 4 kinds of experience yield. You've got routine, easy, average, hard, and that's it. So, routine gives you 0 experience. Nothing special or challenging happened in this encounter. Most everyday scenes fall into this category. Characters don't get XP for things like buying supplies, uneventful travel, or casual conversations. So maybe at the beginning you're meeting your contact and you get given the adventure or something. Or if it's just one of those stupid things where your party has been too beardy, has been silly, and they've took all the I must win at all costs type powers, and they are one-shotting enemies, or killing it in the first round of combat before it can even fight back, and just washing right over it, and then you could legitimately, as GM, say, great, well done, you've got yourself powerful, haven't you? 0 experience for that one. But of course, you don't rate it by encounter verbally to them. You just give them an amount of experience at the end, and they'll notice, oh, that's quite low. That would be routine, and it would be my inclination to take people that are too powerful and give them 0 experience. If I feel disappointed with the way it played out, they haven't learnt anything from it. This is already far below them. They can't learn anything without a test. Next would be easy. The characters overcame any difficulties quickly and efficiently. They were in little danger of failing and expended few resources to be successful. So maybe a bit of mana spent, or minor degree of potions, or a bit of health loss. They've took a bit of damage, but it never looked really terribly in doubt. But it could have maybe, but no. That would be 100 experience. Average. The characters were not taxed to their utmost, but the encounter was a real challenge. It took some skill to resolve and may have required the expenditure of significant resources. So again, that's average and 200 experience. Was it that much harder? Did it start to get a bit doubtful whether someone might fall? Maybe one of your party might say, "Gosh, I think I can take about one more hit, then I'm dead. Guys, you better get ready to get this thing off me. Do something." When it gets to that sort of point, or the pressure is on, and they did struggle a fair bit, and then finally for the 300 experience, hard. The characters had a tough time of it. It may have taken significant time and the expenditure of many resources. The characters may have been in mortal peril, and there may even have been character death. Wow. How about that? That's right. If one of your party die, you've helped the rest of them by having a death in the party, which ups the experience yield for everyone else. This is so good. Having played in roleplay where I have been so frustrated at leveling too fast because the GM's handing out too much experience and the encounters are too easy for the team, who have become overpowered too quickly in their own right in some respects, this is the perfect antidote to that poison. You can apply this to your own systems. You could take any other module in any other system and it might say, well, give them 1,000 experience at the end of the whole thing, like it would in Dark Heresy in some cases. And you could say, 1,000 experience, come on. You guys killed everything in pretty much the first round of combat. I'll give you maybe 400 of that. And I'm being very nice to you at that. If I do that, that's just your basic you've played for an evening suggested experience. Don't be frightened of doing that. The beautiful thing about this is, yes, it will encourage your players to actually treat your game seriously, to treat it properly. That's the first thing, because they'll be worried about, ruining their own experience with their own foolishness. And then the other thing is, of course, it is a self-evidencing prophecy type system, because even if you're playing in a limited number of modules to try and level your party up, what will happen is they'll pass those things too easily, get much reduced experience, and then they'll go on to the next modules you had planned, which are much harder for them, and they'll maybe be a level behind what they should have been, okay? Because they've been silly and got less experience as a result of it, or they've just too good and they've just passed it too quickly. But either way, you as the GM will get that level of satisfaction, so will your players, because they want a challenge. They do want a challenge, whether they'd admit it or not. They want to feel like, victory isn't certain. It has to be a dangerous place that they're playing in, or what's the point of even rolling the dice? Just pretend you killed it already. Once they get to that level, let's just say they're level 4s, and they're now going into the level 5 stuff that they should have been, that you predicted they should be at, or the modules set did. But they're level 4s trying to take it on, and they're going to more than likely struggle now. And because they are struggling, they're getting more experience, which is going to play catch up, because they're getting more experience than they would have been if they'd have been level 5 taking on level 5 content. So that will catch them up, won't it, over the encounters in this case. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, pitfalls? Possibly. One of the pitfalls could be you could have your players be too paranoid about the system if they become very aware of how it works. They might be too paranoid about, oh, this is an experience leech to us, or let's not try and use this pet or something because it makes it easier for the party to actually beat this encounter, and then we'll probably get reduced experience or whatever. And that doesn't feel very natural either, because a party would want to try and throw everything they've got at a thing to try and beat it. But of course then, you see, if people start worrying about gaming the system too much, then really you could just start docking them for ruining your sense of enjoyment as a GM. Why not? Why not even say, well, do you know what, you actually passed it easily, but you didn't pass it easily because you're cheesy and your stats. You passed it because of some really clever, cunning idea, and I'm going to actually, for this encounter, ignore the suggested 0 or 100 that I should give you for doing that, and I'll actually give you 200 or whatever, because I'm so impressed you knocked my socks off and entertained me as a GM. That's what your players are there to do. They're there to feed you and entertain you. So maybe if they did that, you could reward them or whatever. Now, the other idea about picking your own rewards, it doesn't necessarily have to be, 0, 100, 200, 300. In Dragon Age terms, for anything else, you'd apply it and modify it as you see fit. I mean, in Dragon Age terms, if it was in between, what's to stop you saying 150 instead of 100 or 200? 250, something like that. Nothing's there to stop you. And, I mean, what's to stop you saying, right, well, roleplay experience, okay, for this played really, really well, cleverness of ideas. But it does suggest that if you're going to do that, that you wouldn't want to be handing out really more than 100 for the session. Now, what I will say on roleplay experience, something I'm going to be implementing here in this system, is a party shared responsibility system for roleplay games. Because as a GM, your major danger for roleplay awards is other player jealousy. That's not cool. Yes, you could write it down secretly and hand it out to the players so that they can see privately what their experience is, but then it's getting notched up above the other players too, and they're getting at a different rate, and you want them all really to try and progress together. I put it to you, what about this one as a roleplay enhancement system? You do it in divisible amounts by the amount of party members you have. So, in other words, if you have 4 members of your party, then you could say something like, right, well, I'm going to grant 20 roleplay experience for, quite good roleplay, and 40 for exceptional, you really knocked my socks off type roleplay. But that's per player. Let's just say one person gained the really, really exceptional roleplay thing. So that's 40 experience. However, he doesn't gain 40 experience, he gains 10, because everything is shared between the party. Now, where this is good is because he gets it, but there's no jealousy. He got it for great roleplay, and everyone gets the equal experience together. And if any player says, oh, yeah, no, but we did less than him and we're getting the same as him, or his counter-argument to that, I did more than them and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, you did more than them, so if you want more, you better encourage them to do better and entertain me more, right? So, and if one of them get what you got in the same session, you'll all be getting 20 each, not 10 each, because he'll get the 42 and that'll share out 10 each. So you'll all get 20 each. Now, if all the party do that, that will increase the overall bonus experience even higher. Or one person might get the 40 and one person might get the 20. So the 20 would then be the divisible of 5, 5, 5, 5, and the 40s are the 10s. So you could end up with something weird, like, I don't know, 25 or something like that, 30, from 2 5s, or just whatever. These are things you could do, and I believe that this will encourage your group to concentrate on the focus of teamwork, camaraderie, try and defeat those potential jealousy problems. So, I put it to you. What do you think of the suggestion here of this type of self-governing, proactive experience system? Do you like it? Do you plan to try it? Are you going to modify any of your systems in this way? Have you done something like this before? Leave me a comment below on any of your feelings of the issues that have been raised in this video. I will be looking forward to reading them, and I'll read them all. I'll see you down below in the comments section. And until next time, I'll see you at the gaming table.